It is conference championship weekend, and there's a big, big change. I finally got my glasses back, and that's the only notable change as we go into Broncos Patriots. Nothing else is different. We don't have to. I mean, we'll address the elephant in the room, but other than my glasses and the one injury, nothing has changed. And I am very, very eager to hear, although I think I know what your thoughts for this game are going to be. I'm very eager to hear them anyway.
Yeah, obviously the elephant, might as well just get it out of the way. Is Bonix is out, and Bonix was absolutely huge last week. I thought that he had the best quarterback performance in the entire divisional round. I thought he played the cleanest game, and I didn't know this until just now, but he was also the leading rusher on his team. Um, and losing a quarterback that was also your leading rusher in a 33-30 shootout is really bad, to say the least. I ran into a Broncos fan ski resort a couple of days ago and asked them how they were feeling about Jarrett Stidham, and their response was, "I'm just praying." Um, but the thing about this is that the not all hope is lost. I want to say this, because yes, the Patriots have been a really great team. Their defense has been absurd in this postseason so far. Um, but if Stidham and the Broncos offense can just not give the Patriots offense the ball every 30 seconds, like the Texans did last week, I think the Broncos still could have a decent chance at winning this game. Um,
Whoa, now.
but the I said a chance, because this Patriots offense still struggles against winning teams. They played. I would have imagined if they went against a normal or an average quarterback performance last week or an average offensive line performance last week, they wouldn't have even hit 17 points. But when you get a chance every couple minutes, it it makes it a lot easier to put up points. I don't have that much confidence in this Patriots offense right now, but this defense is really humming.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the games where they played teams with a winning record, and obviously the two playoff games jump to mind immediately. 28 points put up against the Texans. You could argue that every point beyond 17 was garbage time, based on how poorly the Texans' offense played. 16 points, though, put up the previous week against the Chargers. 35 points put up in New England, or I'm sorry, 31 points put up in New England against Buffalo. But the first time they played Buffalo on the road, they only put up 23. And they put up 14 against Pittsburgh at home. That was a loss to a team with a winning record. And that's it. Those are the 5 games where they've played a team that ended the season with a winning record this year. And those are not inspiring outputs. You have 2 games where you scored more than 21. 2 games of 5. 40%, not a bad average, but if the bare minimum is 3 touchdowns and you only exceeded that twice, yeesh. This Broncos defense is fierce. And I know I made a fuss when you said Denver still has a chance, but I mean, if Drake Maye plays like he did against Houston last week, you get a moderately okay game out of Jarrett Stidham behind one of the better O lines in the NFL. A not great receiving core, fine, but you still have Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims. It's not awful. It's not Texans receiving core without Nico Collins levels of bad. Um, and I think Jarrett Stidham obviously does not know Mike Vrabel's defensive schemes, but he does know. Um, oh my God, what is the OC's name? Josh McDaniel. Yeah, he does know Josh McDaniel's offensive schemes. So theoretically, I mean, in a matchup where the quarterback of one team knows the opposing defense, or sorry, knows the opposing offense, and that offense has to go up against the best or the second best remaining defense in the postseason and a top 5 defense on the season. It's not crazy to say that Denver could win, but that's also assuming that Jarrett Stidham is moderately okay.
And something that we're saying, I don't think that the Broncos will win this game. And if Bo Nix was there, I would probably be going the other way. But he's not. And the reality is that the Patriots defense right now is just dominant. Now, granted, the last 2 offensive lines that they've played are probably 2 of the 5 worst in the NFL, one of them being the absolute, without a doubt, the worst in the NFL, being the Chargers. I mean, I didn't even know that the worst ranked player at every offensive line position being on the same team would even be allowed. The Chargers, but the Chargers did it. If you guys haven't seen, there's plenty of clips on YouTube. If you look at the Chargers starting offensive line in their wild card matchup with the Patriots, they were last or second last in every single offensive lineman position, meaning that there are multiple backups that are better than the starters that the Chargers have.
Well, and to be fair to the Chargers, they were starting 2 backup tackles. And
yeah,
I'm going to limit this tangent about the Chargers O-line, but you know that I've been drawing a playbook with play action out of a trips left set being the basis of it. With 2 healthy tackles and replacing one of the 2 guys not named Mekhi Becton on the interior, the Chargers could run that playbook. Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt are both great. Mekhi Becton's not as bad as he played this year. He just needs someone functional next to him. And he didn't have that on either side for most of the year.
No. And so with the Chargers off, and then the Texans defense is all very, very bad. The Broncos offensive line, I think, is going to be the biggest challenge that the Patriots defense is going to have so far this season. This offense is coached significantly better than either of those other 2 teams. And the offensive linemen themselves, the personnel, are just better players than exist on either of the 2 starting lines that got put out over the last couple of weekends. And that does give me a little bit of concern with the Patriots, but with that being said, they are really, really hot right now. And I think that they're going to be able to carry enough of that momentum into the championship game against the Broncos.
We talked about this a little bit before we started recording. Yeah. This is the first time New England is traveling past the Mississippi this year. And not only are they traveling 3 hours west as far as time zones go, they're also in the Mile High City in January. It's going to be fucking cold. And New England is a team that is built for the cold, obviously. But the combination of the air pressure and the cold might be enough to get their offense off to an especially slow start.
Yeah, it very well could. And I don't expect the Patriots offense to be of this game. I don't expect this game to be any different or much different than the last 2 Patriots games. I expect it to be a defensively dominated game, and I expect that the Patriots offense to struggle, but I expect the Broncos offense to struggle more. That could be the fact that they are without Bo Nix. It could be the fact that over the course of this season, they have just in general been spotty, even with Bo Nix. Generally struggling, and a lot of times when it felt like they really shouldn't be. So with that being said, I do think the Patriots are going to win this game, and I think they're going to win it 23-17.
Yeah, I can't get past Jarrett Stidham being the starter. It's hard for me to see a scenario where Denver actually walks out of this one where New England also looks fully competent for most of the game. If New England comes out and they just completely shit the bed on both sides of the ball, yeah, of course, Denver can win it. But if the offense returns to what we know they're capable of and the defense continues the hot streak they've been on, man, I got the Patriots winning 31-15 in Denver and advancing to the 11th, 12th Super Bowl appearance in franchise history. I think Brady alone had 10, and I think they had one before that. So I think this will be the 12th.
Brady had 9.
9. Okay, so this would be the 11th appearance for the New England Patriots franchise. Which is fucking batshit, by the way. That's an insane amount of Super Bowls to go to.
I don't know if anyone's been able to tell, but my feelings towards this game are that I really wish the Patriots weren't here. And I don't even know why that. Maybe it's that I'm not ready to see New England back in consistent contention. Maybe it's that Drake Maye has been in the MVP conversation with my team's quarterback, and a part of me just wants to not see him win. And that is just because I think there is a massive misconception in the game of football in terms of the coordination or the coordination between wins and quarterback play. Because I want to emphasize that Drake Maye has not played well in either of the first 2 playoff games, yet he is sitting in the AFC Championship Game.
Ultimate team sport.
But it is the ultimate team sport, and I just want the rest of the Patriots team to get the credit that they deserve for winning these football games.
Now, something that feels worth mentioning before we talk about who we are rooting for in this game. There is one scenario for this conference championship weekend where we don't get a rematch of a Super Bowl that's been played in the last 20 years. And that is if the Broncos and the Rams win. Yeah. Now, I will say one more time that Broncos-Rams was my preseason Super Bowl pick. And it lasted at least until conference championship weekend.
No, that's impressive. That is really, really impressive.
But if the Patriots
win,
I also hope it comes true for what it's worth. That would be fucking insane. I had the Rams beating the Broncos in the preseason in the Super Bowl. But if the Patriots win, we're guaranteed to get a rematch of a Super Bowl that we've seen in the last 12 years, because it was 2014 that Seattle and New England last faced off, and it was obviously 2018 when LA and New England faced off in Sean McVay's second year as a head coach. It's been quite the journey for both of these, for all 4 of these franchises since the last time they appeared in a Super Bowl. Even just since 2021, the Rams roster looks radically different. There are no Seahawks remaining from the last time they went to the Super Bowl. There are maybe 2 Patriots remaining from the last time they went to the Super Bowl, if that. There are no Broncos remaining from that old 2015 team. These are, even if it's a rematch, this is a new game between new teams. It's not the Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll Seahawks versus the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick Patriots. And I think that's what's most exciting about it. We also have a chance to force a matchup between 2 defensive head coaches and guarantee that we get a defensive coach winning a Super Bowl for the first time since 2018, which would also be insane.
And while we are talking about or while you mentioned your preseason pick, it made me think of the preseason. The Rams had I think it was called like a mentalist, like come in and like do some tricks with the team, and it ended up saying that Devontae Adams and the Mentalists had predicted the Rams beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl 23-16. If that ends up being for the Super Bowl, then that would be like it would be insane. It truly would be. And another thing with this potential matchup is that both of the conference games are between a head coach with the first name Sean and a head coach with the first name Mike.
Yep.
Sean McVay, the head coach of the Rams, is matching up against Mike McDonald, the head coach of the Seahawks, and Sean Payton, the head coach of the Broncos, is matching up with Mike Vrabel of the New England Patriots. So also another funny note about this Super Bowl matchup. But yeah, whoever wins these games, I'm glad that it feels like all new teams.
Yeah. And so with that, we will move on to our final segment where we talk about who we are rooting for this week. I think we've both made it clear.
Yeah.
I am rooting for Denver. I think, look, at my core, I'm a shit poster, right? And so New England losing to another backup quarterback in a championship level game, beautiful. Um, it would take a hell of a fucking game from Jarrett Stidham. I'll be so honest. But 200 passing yards and 2 or 3 total touchdowns from Stidham would probably be enough to do it.
David, he just doesn't turn the ball over 6 times.
Yeah, that's probably enough to do it.
That might be the bar, and I have heard that there is a possibility that J.K. Dobbins could return, not this week, however, for the Super Bowl. If the Broncos do win this game, J.K. Dobbins could return. In that case, it would be huge.
Yeah.
For Denver.
Well, I mean, it would inject immediate life into their run game. R.J. Harvey has not been bad, but he's been a very boom or bust runner. He either is 10 yards down the field by the time someone gets their hands on him, or he's a yard behind the line of scrimmage. And there's really not a lot of in between there. J.K. Dobbins levels out that playing field a lot. And using him and Harvey increases both of their floors and their ceilings. So we're both rooting for Denver. We don't really want to see New England in it again. It's a little too soon, I think. I think next year, sure, New England can have one. Maybe. But it's a little too soon, and knowing that they would be rematching against someone that they beat in the Super Bowl between 11 years and like 7 years ago, just not as exciting a prospect as Jarrett Stidham getting to compete for the big game against 2 of the best defenses in the NFL.
I mean, that really reminds me of the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl with Nick Foles, and we'll say, well, honestly, I pray that Jarrett Stidham has at least one game of wonder, of backup wonder. I guess the positive is that the Patriots defense has no film on him.
Yeah.
I guess that's the plus.
Other than whatever practice tapes they recorded, because we know they were doing that. That's a Spygate joke for anyone who's too young to remember Spygate.
We will see what happens this Sunday. As always, Coop, it is really great doing these videos with you. All of the social medias, as per usual, will be linked in the description: Instagram, TikTok, X. If you like mid-game comments, then follow the X. If you want to see a little bit of off-season content and some clips, follow the Instagram. But as always, it is great doing this with you, and we will see all of you for Rams Seahawks.